Hey gents, welcome to another Mystic Dude Division 2 video. Before we get into this, I just wanted to show you I've got my capacitor back. After a drunken gaming session where I deconstructed my other one, I finally managed to get one back, and as you can see I've been saving some materials and I managed to optimize a couple of stats. So yeah, so into the video. So today we're going to just show how to make a DPS build, or the theory behind making a build. So we'll have a look what builds we've got. So I've got a couple of rifle LMG builds, hardwired build, which is a skill build. Recommend everybody have that in the loadout. Same with a shield build. That's my spread build, my fury, my backfire builds, my ravenous build AR. So I'm looking down, got a dilemma build which I've been having a lot of fun with. That my mantis, Scorpio. Right, so let's see, I don't have a spare slot, so I'm gonna have to get rid of one. So we'll use a pistol build because I've not been using that recently. Right, so it doesn't look like, other than the backfire and the fury, I haven't got an SMG build. Right, so let's make an SMG build. So the first thing I would recommend you do is go into your weapons or your options, whichever way is best, and bring up options so you get this screen. Scroll down to show base damage, put that on. While we're in this screen, just for a bit of inventory management, a couple of players I've been recently with didn't know about this. You can sort your items in your bag by name, weapon type, all this. If you have it on this sort by new, then after you've done a run in a mission or in open world, wherever, all the new items that you have will be at the top of your list under the equipped ones, and it'll just make it a bit easier for finding them. So have a look at these options if you've not seen them. There's still quite a lot of players that are don't realise that they're there, so play around with them. You know, you can have always show mask as well. You know, if you put your mask on there, like you can see, he's sticking on there. You know, so have a play around. But for this, for the build, put show base damage on. Now, what this will do, as you can see now, after the weapon, where it says total damage, you've got two numbers, a white and an orange one, whatever colour it is on your screen. So your white is your base damage, and then the plus number is the bonuses you get in. So let's find a submachine gun. So we've got one there, so we'll stick that on for the moment. Have I got any more in my bag? Right, I haven't. So let's go to my stash and find a submachine gun. I'm going to ignore the exotics for now, Lady Death and Chatterbox, as they have a specific type of gameplay. So we've got a code relations there, so we'll move that to inventory. We'll move Darkwind to the enhanced PP. Won't bother with a Slayer. We'll move the Vector. Right, so we've got a couple of submachine guns. So, right. So we could go by the highest base damage. So that's 51.7. So let's go down. That's 51.9. 40.4. And we could find what it's the hardest that we've got in our bags. I won't get into what it's the hardest in the game. I think it's the, I don't think I have one, it's the one that looks like a Tommy gun but without the round mag on it. I'll just have a quick look. It's a bit like the Slayer but without the round mag on. I don't think I have one to show you. I was watching a video by somebody recently and they said it does the most damage per bullet. So this is a way, that's a way to keep your eyes open for what kind of damage do you. That total damage that detailed damage will turn off every time you log in and out. It's something that Massive have been asked to fix and requested to alter so that once you put it on, it stays on, but obviously they're too busy having holidays. So personally, I like the code relations, perfectly strained, and the dark winter's good. The other factors you've got to take into account with is the size of the mag and the RPM. And there's a little test I do with my weapons, which I'll show you in a bit. So we'll start with the PP19, and we'll put the code relations. So they're basically the same weapon. One's a named weapon, and one's got that one's got, what's it got on it? Eyeless. Right. So now we need to put the build together. So we're going to go for a DPS build. So let's look for a chest first with preferably obliterate, but you know, let's look for a good damaging. So that looks good. That's decent road. Walker Harris got obliterate on, so we'll stick that on for now. And then we'll just look through our stash, go to body armor, and we'll see if we've got anything better than Walker Harris. There's a Walker Harris there, but that's got Headhunter on it, which would be difficult to with a submachine gun. Right, so we've got some Sokolovs here. So this one's got good rolls on it, and I've modified the talent, so I can change that talent to what I want. That one's got obliterate on it already. I've not modded it. It's got headshot damage. So rather than change that one, which is the obvious choice, that's got headshot damage as well. Crit chance. We'll go with this one as we've not altered it. Right, so now we need a backpack. So let's see what we've already got in our inventory. So we're looking for a DPS backpack. Nothing in my inventory, so let's go to our stash. So we're looking for the usual damaging mods. So concussion, that's quite good. Headshots increase total weapon damage. Group Sombre, that's got 2 yellow rolls on. It's got Wicked on, so we could go around the status effect to get the damage buff. Let's just see what else we've got. Clutch, again not a bad talent, defensive talent. We're going to be running a DPS build, so we're going to be getting crit hits, so that would give us a bit of a defensive aspect on the build. We'll just keep looking for a DPS one. Well, there we go. We've got Seska there with Vigilance, Walker Harris with Vigilance. I do like the Walker Harris for the 1-piece and 2-piece. For the weapon damage and damage to armor, it's very good with LMGs. Right, so let's go with the Seska first. Right, so at the moment we've got our submachine guns, and when we put it on we will have our Seska. So right, here we go. Right, so that's 2 pieces. Right, so let's now get a DPS mask. So let's have a look what we've got in our inventory. That's pretty good road. Let's just start with that. So that's 1-piece Providence. So let's see what else we've got. We've got an holster there, let's stick that on. So now we've got 2-piece Providence. So the 3rd piece will give us crit damage. Now we're into the realms of the gloves and the knees, and the obvious pieces that always stick out are contractors' gloves for the damage to armor, and if they're in my inventory, which they're not, the Fox's knee pads. So let's stick that on for now, Group Sombre, because it's in my inventory. So that gives us another 15% crit damage for the 1-piece bonus, and I'm not going to go with contractor's gloves, just to keep the build simple for now, just for the idea of putting brand sets together. So we have another Grupo there. Let's have a look what we've got. That's pretty good roll. We could always swap other pieces around. That Providence, that would be ideal. That hasn't been modded. It's got weapon handling on. We might not need to change that to crit chance because we've got an SMG on, which usually has our crit damage, crit chance. So we'll put that in our inventory. Let's find the piece. Right, so we've got the basic pieces there. We've got 1 piece Seska, 3 piece Providence, 1 piece Grupo, and 1 piece Walker Harris. Obviously, like I said, a lot of these are swapped out. If you haven't got Obliterate on a Walker Harris or a Providence or a Sokolov, then just swap what you've got needed. So where was my Sokolov? We need to equip that. Right, so we've put Sokolov on for the 10% SMG damage as opposed to the Walker Harris. But right, the next thing you need to look at is your specialisation. What are you going to run? So there's lots of choices, guys. The main thing you've got to run is the actual weapon damage for the weapon you're using. So we've got Survivalist equipped at the moment, so we'll inspect that. What you've got to be aware of is these down here. So at the moment that hasn't got submachine gun equipped. Now they won't change when you switch loadouts, which is a pain. It used to do, but something else it broke as well. So let's see if we've got, rather than mess one up. Right, my gun is already set to submachine gun. So what I'll do, I'll activate that one rather than change all my others around. So now we've got gunner equipped, which will give us the brand bonus. As you can see, that PP19 is now got 83.6k bonus damage. Right, so we need to start looking at our stats now. So we have got 60% crit chance. Yeah, and if you look on the right, it'll tell you where your stats come from. So you can see like their crit damage items, yeah, crit chance items. So we're getting it from our weapon, backpack, mask, holster, knees. Yeah, so you could actually add up how much you've got and how much you need. So I've got 21% on that. I've got 6 on that. 6 on that. So that's 6 to 12. 4.5 only on that. So that's 22.5 from that. 43.5, 53.5 with me. Don't forget you get your crit chance from here as well, guys. Yeah. Once you've got these maxed and you crit damage. So if you're adding the numbers up and they don't seem to add up, it might be that you're missing your watch. Yeah. Right, so we've got 60%, so now we need to check our mods. So I've no mod on that weapon there. So take into account your weapon handling, how the weapon feels for you. You know what you're going to use. So let's look down. We don't need to put crit chance on. We could put an extra bit of crit damage on. So let's do that. Obviously we need a good skin slot because that's going to put your DPS up by 5%, having a good skin on it. So again, let's put another 5% crit damage on there. These are personal preferences. They're not going to make a lot of difference. unless you're actually needing them to make the crit chance cap, you know. But you know, you could put accuracy on, stability, depending on the weapon you're using and what talents and what specialization you're using. So for now, we'll just, like I said, keep it simple. We'll put the crit damage on. Right. So the mods, the 3 pieces with the mods on. So that's empty. So let's put a crit damage in there. So we'll just put that one in. So we've got crit damage in that one, crit damage in that one. Let's find another one. Might have to take one out of something else. Yeah. As you can see, I've got a couple of 12s there, which are hard to get. Take that one out of that eclipse. Right, so now we've got 3 crit damages in. We've got our weapons in, specialization we know we've got set. We're sort of happy with our brand sets. We know we can change them around to Fox's Prey or Contractor's Gloves. Right, the next thing you need to think about is what skills you're going to run. You're going to run it with a shield. You're going to just run a striker drone maybe. Yeah, let's run striker drone with it. Take the attention away from ourselves. Get a bit of extra damage. Secondary skill. You could run assault turret. Let's play it safe. We'll put a reviver on. So again, personal preference, whether you're playing solo, whether you're playing in a group. You know, you could add a bit of support in, run a bit of crowd control with traps and stuff like that. But we'll just choose them for now. Striker and reviver. Pistol shouldn't really matter a lot with this. Again, personal preference. I like to run with that backup boomstick just because it hits like a truck, and if something does get close to you, it has a bit of a suppression on them. It does only have 2 bullets on it, but it is good. But again, whatever you want, the new cards, the new pistols that they brought in are quite good. So again, personal preference. Right, now once you've sort of got that, you need to look at recalibration. So let's go to recalibration and just go through our items. So this is our first one. We're pretty happy with that. It's rolled quite well. We're not going to change that. Gloves. We're pretty happy with that. We could change the weapon handling. Put headshot damage on. We know we don't need crit chance. We've already checked our stats. Yeah, as it's a DPS build, we're not going to bother too much with any yellows or blues. But we'll leave that weapon handling on for now. It's not going to do too much difference. Although, to put your DPS up, probably would change that to headshot damage, but we'll leave it. Body armor. Right, that one's not been recalibrated as we know. So, we'll look at that. So we've got hazard protection. So we'll take that off and we'll change that to crit damage. So that's looking a pretty good piece now. 2 crit damages, headshot damage, weapon damage and obliterate. Let's go to holster. Don't really need to change anything on that. Again, the backpack. This will be different for you because obviously some of these pieces I've been collecting quite a long while, so they are quite nice pieces. But you know, don't despair if yours are not rolled as good as this. It's just a case of putting the time in and playing for targeted loot, and then hopefully playing with people. If you tell them what you want, a lot of the time they'll pass them to you. Even matchmate people, if you tell them at the beginning, you know, I'm looking for a certain piece, they'll reciprocate. They'll say, oh right, cool, I'm looking for this, and you know, at the end you can exchange pieces. There's a lot of people who do that. So right, they can be optimized, so we don't really need to optimize that, but you can go to your optimization. It is expensive at the moment, so I could optimize that crit chance. We're already capped, so I'm not going to waste materials on that. So that's something, again, another way to get your items up. Right, so now we need to go and try it. So we'll stick this onto heroic, and let's just put it on 10 meters. Stick the shooting range onto, we'll put it onto named. Now the test I said at the beginning of the video, which I do, is can I kill the enemy with one clip? Yeah. So let's see if we can kill this with one clip. Just on body shots. Yeah. Literally near enough last bullet. So we're getting decent damage there. We'll move this in a bit closer, then you can see a bit better. 629. Had one bullet left. So we're able to kill that with one clip, with a few bullets left over. About 8 to 9 bullets left over. Right, so let's swap that out for another. Well, actually, we'll try the code relations. What's the difference on that one compared to this? On that weapon, we've got crit chance, reload speed. On this one, we've got damage to armor, perfectly strained. So that one should be better. So we'll swap to the code relations. Again, we're going to see if we can kill it with one shot, one magazine, and see if the damage is any higher. 4 bullets left. As you can see now, we're getting over 700, and that's the difference that the talent's making. 635, 645, 658. So we're not near the magic million mark, but as you can see, that's a decent weapon, that code relations, with that perfect strained. So let's try a different SMG that we put in. So we'll try Dark Winter. Now the Dark Winter is very fast. The base damage is lower, but it is very fast. I've already put mods in this. We can take that crit chance off. We know we're already capped on crit chance, so we'll put crit damage on it. Same with that one. We can take that off. Put crit damage on them all. We've got the extended mag. We'll just have a look at our stats. I don't think I showed them before. So we're pretty good there. 60%, 197. Quite pleased with that. That's quite nice. Plus 95% headshot damage. So let's see what this Dark Winter does. Very fast weapon. Didn't kill it. So that didn't kill it in one shot. In one magazine, sorry. As you can see, he's just got a bit of armor left. So just by testing that, you would easily say that the code relations is stronger. You could look at the talents on the Dark Winter. You're getting a talent proccing after you've killed an enemy. So what we'll do, we'll just see if we can activate that. Kill one. Let's just get him low. Just get him low, get the buff. It's still not killing it with one magazine. Close, as you can see there on his health bar. But a lot of people really like this because of the speed it fires. It does give an impression of feel, even though you're just playing a game, keyboard and mouse, a gamepad. You do get a feel, sort of, with the weapons, just through the sound and the way they react. So let's try another one. The MP5. I do like this weapon, nice little weapon. So this one, it's also got a proc on a kill, so close and personal. So we get the proc after we've killed something, whereas the cold relations, I'm getting my weapons mixed up, that proc you get while you're shooting. Yeah, so that's an active proc. This is an on-kill proc. So let's try the MP5. I'll have a look at the stats. Right, we're still on the same crit chance, crit damage. So let's just get rid of it first. Start with full magazine. So that killed it again with a full magazine. Now we've got the proc up for killing it. 11 bullets left. So we've got about 11 bullets. So we're two bullets better off, you would argue, with that as opposed to the cold relations. Similar size mag. I do prefer the cold relations, just because again, going back to how they feel. So let's see what other weapons we've got. We've got the MP5A2, so we'll equip that. Look at stats. Crit damage has gone down a bit, so let's just see if that's got, might have crit chance mods on it. It's got weapon handling there, so we'll put the crit damage on. Then it's got the same as everything else. I haven't got crit damage there for that for some reason, so we'll just stick stability on. So we'll be close enough. 192, so we're just missing that 5% from the rail. So right, let's see if this can kill it in. That didn't do it. What talent does that have on? Sadist. Deal 20% to bleeding enemies. So, you know, that could make a choice for you to use the Stinger Hive. You know, or that would be a good weapon to use with the Hunter set, or anything else that puts the bleed on. So having just tried them out, I would probably personally be running this build with cold relations. It just felt better. It just feels steadier. It feels a bit more accurate. The base damage is higher, and I know that I can take out a named elite with one magazine. That's without the headshot damage. If I do it with headshots, then I'm getting over 900k, not far from the magic million mark. Just on that note, guys, if you do put a build together, SMG, AR, LMG, anything, then kind of fast rapid fires, once you start getting over 900k to a million damage per bullet, you're doing a lot right. So there isn't a lot between the builds. They're a lot similar. It's all about playstyle and preference. So the other thing we need to think of now is we've decided on our main weapon. So my personal preference on that would be my cold relations, you know, or even the enhanced. But if I was running the enhanced PP19, I would probably be changing that eyeless to a different talent, or I would be running the Stinger Hive or a brand set, whatever, to give me that bleed to get 20% extra weapon damage, which would be very, very strong. So the last thing to think of is our off weapon. Now you could run another submachine gun, but if you run out of bullets, if you've got directives on, you put yourself in a bit of a corner. So it's always better to run a different weapon. So we all know about the new capacity. That's quite strong even on this build, as you can see, 118k, short of 119. Running with that, I'm going to get a buff to me striker, so there's a benefit there. Scorpio, very strong, as you can see, that's hitting on this build, because it's a DPS build, it's hitting for 1,000,000 damage. It'll probably, if I look at it, it'll probably just be over. Let's put it to main weapon, then we can see it. Yeah, it's just over 1,000,000. So, I mean, just straight off there, that's hitting for 531, 535. That'll go up as we shoot. So there we got seven crits from them pellets, all at 569. You know, so that's really strong as an off weapon. You know, you could argue that this would be strong as the main weapon. So once you've got this build together, let's say you pick up a weapon like the Scorpion, you think, hey, I really like that. How can I change this around? Well, you don't need the brand set if you're running that as your main weapon. So you would think, right, how can I get that? So you would need to look for the brand set that gives you the shotgun damage, so which would be Badger Tough. So like that one's all blue though, so you would have to try and farm a Badger Tough with the core attributes and attributes on that you need. You will probably have to recalibrate some of them off, so that's where the farming comes in. So that's basically how you can put a build together. So that didn't take too long. I didn't have a submachine gun build. I couldn't think what it was called then. I didn't have a submachine gun build before I started. I now do. So the last thing to remember, you can do this as you go along, is don't forget to save your loadout, then you don't lose it all. So we'll put it onto, we were doing it on the pistol build, we'll save that, and then don't forget to rename it. So put a name in for it, just put anything, as long as you know what it means to you. So just change that to sub. So that's now a submachine gun build, and that, guys, is how you put a build together. If you've got any questions, as usual, hit me up in the comments. Feel free to like, dislike, sub, whatever. And for now, Mystic Dude out.